Hello. Question is, am I sounding good on the stream? Seems like it. Just need to bump this up maybe a little bit. 170. Close. Let's see if that's working any better. Hey guys. I don't know if anybody's watching this right now. Just trying to make sure everything is working correctly. Be right back. Come in! I got the stream going already. Thanks for doing the news part, because literally I didn't have any time to do it. Yeah. It's fine. So we're doing a one camera setup this time, because the last time, remember, I had weird camera issues with my side. So it's there pointing at both of us. Trying to see if anybody's even in watching it. It says I have one watching, but I don't know who that is. So how's work? Remember, we're being streamed.
That's fine.
Looking for a pen?
Yeah. Thanks.
I met our district manager for the first time ever today.
Oh, Blake?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Gonna mute that. All right. Oh, two are watching. Somehow we have a new subscriber. Ah. Well, for the two of you that YouTube says is watching, hello. And we will be getting to the show soon. We're terrible this week. Teresa's done a bulk of the work in our script. I just need to do some work. We actually need to write the stories, so we'll kind of probably talk out loud a little bit to you. We'll talk about some pre-show stuff. So this what you get is a cast member level patron or above. You get to see us do stuff in the beginning.
You can see us put it all together.
Yeah, some people like that. Laura says it's working.
What do I want?
Nope. Not how is the sounds. How is the sound? So I'm going to move this over here.
What's it called? Discord.
Discord.
I like how you know before I even finish my
You said Discord. So in the streaming thing right now, I've just got it on us, but I think what I'm going to do is... We got a really good piece of email feedback.
I saw that. And we got nice patron feedback, too.
Ooh. Okay. What I'm going to do... Oh, good.
So are we having the chat in Discord, or are we going to do the chat on...
I want to do just the chat on Discord in the live channel. So none of you talk in the YouTube comments. Let's just leave it on the...
Laura, can you hear me? As I keep hitting my microphone.
I'm not hearing it, so that's good. Google Sheets, that's what I need. Whoop. Oh, God damn it, Jackie.
Oh, she still can't hear me. What is wrong with...
I can hear you. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I might have you muted. I don't have you muted.
Well,
Hold on.
Remember last time how it sounded like I was at the end of a tunnel?
Talk.
Hello?
That's me again. Talk.
Hello?
Still not you. Hold
Laura, we're trying to work on the
Oh,
sound.
there.
Can you hear me now? I feel like that guy in the commercial.
on. In a bit.
It just goes in.
Yeah, it's in the
somebody
background.
actually asked us, is that a cuckoo clock in the background?
So, okay. So what I'm going to do right now...
All right. Thanks, Doug and Laura.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now... Oh, I guess I shouldn't probably have this up on the screen. It's just our chat. Doesn't matter. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put our script up on the screen because that's basically what we're going to do right now. We're going to do some script writing. So I figure we'll talk about it and you can kind of see what we're doing. So let me just kind of give you a quick rundown here. So at the top here, we do one of these for every single week.
Every week, yeah. Every episode, really.
Yep. And so let me click this, and that'll full screen it. There we go. So what you have here is you've got at the top we just have the show date, the title, which we usually pick after the episode's done, who's hosting, what music we're gonna pick. Obviously that's not picked either. And then we do all of this fill in kind of later. Teresa went in and put in some Patreon stuff already, and then guest discussion. Oh, we gotta talk about that.
Yep. So
And then
I got that updated.
Perfect. And then for over here, we've just got basically the stories that we're going to talk about and the links to those things. And then further on down, we've gotten rid of the that's really well done in there, Teresa. I have not looked at this. So
You're
what is this,
welcome.
Teresa's food?
Sure, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
There you go. So it'll...
You all current. So I'm going to work on, because I think it'd be exciting if we pull our patron name on the live show.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So I will work on putting names in the
Let me get the hat. This is my favorite hat, so we got to use that.
Okay, we're using Tag's favorite hat. Of course, it's the conductor hat. Of course.
And I thought it was for the railroad, but actually it's for the red car trolley.
Oh, well, that works too.
So for those of you, I can't see. I can't. Oh, it's not even up. Hold on.
What do you mean it's not up?
I got the screen. I need to switch it over so
Oh,
they
I
can see,
see.
what we're seeing.
I think you should model it, Tag. I think you should put it on. Do a little walk.
So here it is. This is the. I don't know why you're laughing. You probably have one. I'm wearing my 60th anniversary
I
Disneyland
brought
shirt.
my ears.
You should
Dang
have.
it.
What do you have?
This, I don't even know. It's
Oh,
like
you're out of the screen. Hold on.
It's a collaboration.
It's too much on me and not
Here.
enough on you. There.
It's got.
What is that? Oh, it's
on
Mickey. It
It's
says
Minnie.
Minnie. It says Disneyland Resort.
Disneyland,
Nice.
Paris, fashionista.
Yeah.
All about
So
the bow.
we're gonna put the stuff in this, and we'll draw it on the live show. So I will just pop that right there. Look at that. It just fits all nice. So Teresa can write names down and do it that way. All right. So let me switch back over to the screen. And I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm gonna leave. Well, Teresa's working on a totally different area. I'm gonna put this back on both of us. I need to go use the restroom and grab a water. Do you want a water?
Yes, please.
I will grab you a water. And so Teresa can keep you entertained.
No pressure. So do you guys have your topics chose for if you guys get chosen to do the discussion with us? I feel like, Doug, you're probably going... I think, Doug, you kind of have talked before that you talk about doing the park with kids. So were you still thinking that, or were you thinking something else? Laura, what was one of your ideas for what you would do for a discussion topic on here? We're hoping that maybe, hopefully, possibly, we've got a couple of leads on some different cast members that would be interested in coming on the show with us. So hopefully we can get a cast member on here soon, because I think that'd be really fun and really exciting. See, I think that's great, Doug. Park with the kids. That's awesome. Ooh, good one, Laura. So Laura said the movies and how they connect with the parks. I like that a lot. I should have known, Laura, that you were going to do a movie-themed one, since you're like movie buff, movie guru girl. So Laura, would you be talking about like the Pirates and Haunted Mansion, the movies that were based upon rides, or would you be talking about attractions that are based on movies, or what would how would you go with that one? Very cool. Very cool. See, Doug, I think you've got such a great, like, different perspective with your children on how you guys visit the park and how your visits may be a little bit different from other families. So I think that's great that you can
Are you saying
share
Doug's
that
different?
with us. I'm not saying Doug's different. Cool, Laura. I'm excited. I'm excited for both of your guys' topics. Doug.
What? Oh, that would be his topic and Laura's topic. Okay.
Yeah, those are their
I wasn't here for whenever you were talking about whatever.
Oh, yeah. I suppose you only see half of the conversation.
So you want me to write the news stories while you're doing the names? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Hey, producer James. When we get to that part, are you going to draw the name for us? So we'll get producer James to draw the name out of the hat.
Why? Is it so it's unbiased?
No, because I figure James has got to do something. What? No. You got a movie to watch. James is going to try out for Newsies at the community theater.
Oh, there you go.
So he's going to watch Newsies on Netflix? Netflix or Hulu? Netflix. He's got a while.
March, I was going to say.
All right, let's see here.
Either that or you missed it.
Oh, I had news that I saved. Hold on. I got to figure this out.
What the hell just happened? Sorry.
Hey now.
What?
Just after Doug said we are so great at family friendly.
No, like, I don't know where all my... Oh, technology.
I clicked email, but I don't know where it went. I like technology usually, but not when I'm trying to figure out.
Somehow I had like 3 different windows open for Firefox.
Yep.
And 3 of them just closed.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know how because I wasn't touching anything.
Maybe it crashed.
I don't know. Well, let's go back into Patreon.
All right, Disneyland Weekly. What was our last show was on the 30th?
I don't know, whatever. No.
The
Our last
29th?
show would have been Sunday, the feedback show. Saturday. Patrons.
Saturday was what, though? How does the video look on you guys' side? Does the video look good? Oh, that's awesome, Doug.
Yeah, I was laughing at that. Oh.
Oh, Miguel's watching, it looks like.
Miguel.
He's at least, like...
Miguel, if you're watching,
Logged
join
in.
our live show chat under Discord.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Doug. Oh, and Laura. Sorry. I'm so distracted. I apologize.
We're never distracted here.
Never. The 29th is the last time we recorded an episode, so I got to find anything from the 29th on. So, did you put in... Oh, I guess I did that since then, too. Did you put in feedback?
No, because I didn't think we were going to be doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I can put feedback in later. We don't have to worry about trying to do that while we're trying to get the show going. I already responded to that. Naples debuts. Yep, you already got that. Another comment, another comment, another comment. Priscilla emailed us. Oh, did you... Hold on. Not in the news, but I think we should talk about it. Is Disneyland's offering a 36% raise to certain cast members?
Ooh, definitely.
I figure out where I found this. It says Disneyland announced, so I don't know. Maybe it's just on their... Let's see.
Do you have a scissors around here?
Maybe. I know we do upstairs. Go ask James.
Oh, Jackie's outside. I'm like, what is out here? Oh, it's your dog. Hey, James, do you have a scissors somewhere up there?
Huh. I don't see it anywhere except for on Laughing Place, so I guess that's where I will have to cite. Just better be careful, because we're, just using other people's thing. Okay. I can only look at so many things at once, so if I miss you in the chat, I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. I've never seen Newsy. Well, I did when I was in school, but I haven't for a long time. What?
I was just singing one of the songs.
James is judging me.
Oops. Brandon's name.
So
was
did you have
wrong.
ESPN closing?
Nope.
So we've already kind of talked about it closing. It closed on Saturday. I don't think we need to talk about it. Do you guys think we should talk about ESPN closing? Literally, it's ESPN closed, and that was the last ESPN zone location anywhere in the world. Do you guys care? Do you think that should be in the news or no?
The last in the world.
Yeah. So they apparently they used to have like a chain or something, and then the last one was the one that's in downtown Disney. Laura's typing. Oh, Miguel was here, then he left. We made him shy.
Poor Miguel.
Miguel's like, don't talk about me. What happens if we draw him to be on the show?
Well, we like.
Okay, Laura says it doesn't have to be in the news, so good. Thanks, Laura. Oh, Disney. Oh, see, this is why we need other news sources, because the Disneyland annual pass changes. I think that's like our top story.
That was holy cow! Why did I feel like we already talked about that? That seemed like it was a while ago.
What do you mean?
That seems like that was announced like forever ago. It wasn't, but I'm saying it that like.
In fact, I
Time
think it was
flies,
just
man.
on the MySage page.
Well, we've got that in Discord. Is that email that? Is it Priscilla shared?
So Brian Pinsky wrote something about it on MySage, or on MyChat. And I'm wondering if he has the calendar here. No. Well, he has some of the calendar, just comparing June. I guess we could probably talk just about that. That'd be fine.
Wow, we've got a lot more patrons than I knew we had. That's pretty cool.
Are they all eligible? Thanks, Doug.
I think everyone's eligible, isn't it?
I don't remember. I've literally had to look at the Patreon like a jillion times recently because
I don't think we've ever specified. So
I thought we did.
once a month because I thought you were gonna do it like weekly or something.
Yeah, no, weekly would be too crazy. Oh, Orange County, around Orange County did the thing. I'm clicking too many things. All right, shout out on the podcast. One-time button. Blah, blah, blah. Live stream of the show. Message our chat. Extra
The only thing
goodies.
I think the only place we
Yeah,
talked
you're
about
right.
it was in our whatever that thing was. We got this much a month. Our levels, our goals.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony.
That's why Therese is good at this stuff.
Well, this is good. So if they're not in chat, we do have everybody's email. So we will find you.
We will find you. Well, now I'm trying to load this thing again. Here we go.
Do I put the new guy in there? I'm pretty sure he's already in there.
Take a choice to invite a different patron for discussion. Okay.
Monthly, right?
Each month, yep. So this month will be our first month. Get
Ooh,
excited.
No pressure.
Oh, I probably shouldn't pull the patron manager up on the live stream. Yeah.
I got all of our names already. We've got
Well, you were. Did the guy?
23.
Did it process already?
the new guy.
Yeah. Who's the new guy?
No. Nathan.
I feel bad because I just asked you who the new guy was, and that's kind of mean. Nathan is $3, but he has not gone through yet. So Nathan is not entered into the drawing yet.
He is. 'Cause I wasn't paying attention.
Well, if we pull him,
Bonus for you, Nathan. Well, he can't. He can't hear us. He's not in on the live stream.
okay, I'm closing this because it's being weird, but I think it'll be okay.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to wait till the end of the episode to pull a name.
We don't have to do it at the end. We could do it at the beginning.
Ooh.
Actually, this has a better.
Look at all these names. How exciting is that? Look.
Wow. This is actually a better thing.
I can't remember if we asked people. Whoop.
Well, if you
I
drop
lost
people's
one.
names, that's not going to work.
Okay, just because I'm curious.
Who you
Who
dropped?
do we drop?
I'm going to laugh if it's,
Oh.
oh.
Sorry we dropped you. You're back in on it, though.
They don't know. Ah, stop clicking things.
There.
Sorry, guys. This is probably totally boring to you.
arts and crafts items now. Okay.
Oh. Okay, that's newsworthy. 70% of the people that were laid off from the ESPN zone, what is it, 70%?
Yeah.
70% are just being placed somewhere else in the resort.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So people don't have to just lose their job. So that's going to be a news story. So we said no for ESPN, but that's a little more interesting. So, in this place for 10 years. That's funny. All right, let's see. You know, I've never actually been in the ESPN zone. I mean, it's not really my thing, but it always seemed like it was fairly busy, though. Did you see the email from Nathan, by the way? Who found the brick? And is our... Oh, Nathan, the new guy.
Yeah, the new guy.
Yeah, he sent a picture of him and his daughter at the brick. Let's see. Okay, all the stuff's closing. We've covered that a jillion times. You're already talking about the fact that Napoli came back, right?
Yeah.
Quick service tents, which I don't think we need to talk about that. So I was thinking there was about time for us to switch our logo to our like full time. But Pixar Pier is about to open, so I feel like we need to leave the Pixar themed thing for a while after that. I love the Emporium. The Emporium is probably one of my favorite. So I love the train station. It's probably my favorite building in all of Disneyland. But the Emporium building here, up there as well. I really like the Emporium building.
Are you writing?
I'm looking through the news, and when I come across something. Oh, there's we didn't say this, but there's My Sage picking apart things again.
They're picking on Toontown.
They're picking on the castle this time because there's a dent in one of the turrets.
Oh.
It's missing a topper on one thing. There's visible cables and lights for the current fireworks promotion or something. And it faded. There's a fold in the turret. What? Huh. Tropical Hideaway is still constructing. Pirates is supposed to open this Friday. We should put that in there. Pirates returns this Friday. And that's going to be that one. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So some fun photos around the park, so nothing too exciting. Ooh. What's the villain's name from Princess and the Frog?
Ooh, Dr. Facilier.
They have a good picture of Dr. Facilier. I like his character. I think it's cool. I love the villains, though.
I met him.
Did you?
Yep, we met him. And it was really weird, and I didn't quite catch it, and I wish I would have, called him out on it, but Vern and I just discussed it afterwards. So we were just hanging out in New Orleans Square, and kind of down by, the river, kind of in the Phantasmic viewing area, I guess would be a good way of saying it. And he was just kind of wandering around. I just like watching. He's one of those characters I just really like watching. And seeing how he interacts with people, because he's a very interactive character.
Yeah.
And so he kind of sauntered past us, whatever, stopped right after he got past us, turned around, and then came back and whispered in my ear, and he said what he said congratulations, and then kept on going. I was just like, what? Thank you? Like what? So I don't know. Vern and I were talking about if it was supposed to be like his voodoo thing, like he could sense the presence of something that we didn't know was going to happen, or I don't know.
Maybe he thought your button was like a birthday button or something, or a just married button, like he didn't look at it close
I don't
enough.
know, maybe. We were trying to decide he was in character. That was actually the first thing we thought, but we thought it was much more interesting if he was like doing some hoodoo
that he does
stuff. Yeah.
So fresh new look for Naples. We kind of covered that last week, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Oh God, is there more food?
There's always food.
Always food. Ooh,
You can go through it because some of it was repeats. Other stuff was not repeats.
Pixar Fest Edition. Oh, this is just talking about the food again.
Not all. No, some of it's different.
Well, we talked about the afternoon tea in a previous episode.
No. Okay, maybe I didn't remember.
Doug's trying to figure out how you spell Dr. Facilier's name.
Yeah, that's Google. That's what I would do. I would just Google it.
Paint the Night Parade dining packages.
Like kazoos.
Paint the Night Parade. I don't care.
Slide whistles.
I hate that you put stuff in and then I'm like, nope, don't care. Just delete it. We didn't write it though. If it was written.
Don't you dare. I'm writing a story now. Don't you dare.
I saw your pink on it.
Okay, good. Don't you leave it alone.
Oh, jeez. So it's explore, play, relax, shop, dine, golf, or tour. Ooh, hello. I clicked left thinking it was going to go back left, but it actually went totally out of the thing. So is there anything else other than... Oh, they have Experience the Magic collection. That's the gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
The Experience Magic.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so you got another sweet treats?
Just look at it, because I don't really...
Oh, good, Doug. Yeah, so the Backside of the Water is kind of fun. Like I said, I know that they swapped up their host. Like they have a new co-host or something. I haven't listened to it in a while, to be honest. But I love that each episode is like a really in-depth, deep dive of a different attraction, which is great because you just learn all types of cool stuff. The Sweep Spot, I only listen to the Sweep Spot episodes that have interviews with cast members because I think that's really interesting. And I usually skip, they have like a news section at the front, and I usually skip that. And then otherwise, that's kind of what I watched them for or listened to them for. But I've been listening to true crime stuff lately and not Disneyland podcasts. So, yeah. All National Donut Day. So is there more new stuff?
Oh, that's even the same actor that I saw for...
Was it?
Facilier, yeah.
Through the picture. What were you saying?
Yeah. What did you mean?
So this is like stuff they normally have. so I'm gonna delete that one. Sorry, Teresa. I feel like you
You're
did
fine.
some hard work, and I'm just going through and obliterating a lot of stuff.
Just don't delete all of my notes for the discussion topic.
No, I'm not touching that.
That was really the hard work, was that?
What do you listen to for true crime, Laura?
See, I think my Discord closed too, because I'm not getting any of these. Gosh darn technology. Drip like gum.
Do you want to write the Circle D tour story? I think it's good, but I just don't know what to say about it.
Oh my goodness, where are we?
I read this as poop. Incredible American Idol winner Maddie Pop visits Disneyland Resort. I thought it said Maddie Poop.
Ooh, so I didn't tell you this, Tag. So I didn't get very far, but I started listening to The Backside of Water on the way to the Disney parks.
Sure.
So that was some of our car music.
How was it?
Pretty nerdy. I liked it. There were sometimes it was funny because I feel like I'm like extra analytical because you and I have a very distinct kind of style with our podcast.
So it's weird listening to
And
others.
so it's weird listening to other ones because I'm like, oh, good, just hurry up. Just tell me. I just want to know the facts. So there was a lot of extra.
Fluff.
Yeah. I timed how long the introductions were in the beginning, but it was the first episode, so it made sense.
How long was the... Do you remember?
That was like 10 minutes or something.
Oh, wow.
Maybe it wasn't. It seemed like a really long time. Yay!
What?
Jason and Gwen sent us a message. They sent
Oh.
me a text because we're buddies now. They sent me a text.
Like a text message?
yeah.
Oh.
They sent me a text. 'Cause that was just the easiest way to
Yeah,
get a
yeah,
hold
yeah.
of each other in the parks.
So now they're going to be texting you all the time.
So I envy their lives so much. They, last minute trip to the parks. Think maybe it was yesterday that they decided like, oh, let's just go, so they went and then see that their parents, oh, we're going to stay the night and spend the next day there too. So they were going to do some research for me.
Nice.
Okay, who am I? Oh, Circle D.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to talk about.
Well, you wrote about it.
I know.
You can just talk about what they got to do.
I have to watch a video for it, though.
Charms collection. Yeah, we don't want to have sponsors ever, Doug. That's why we have Patreon. And we don't ever plan to have sponsors. One of the podcasts I listen to actually has patrons, and they actually have over 20 grand a month that they get.
What?
Well, hold on, I'll explain.
Holy
So
buckets.
this is what they do for a living, and they pay other. It's a tech show, so they
Still,
pay
wow.
other technology journalists when they come on each week. So they pay them like a salary. So I actually am a patron of them for $5 a month. And so they have over $20,000 a month. And
That just
they are
blows my
talking
mind.
about making, and I listen out of the Patreon feed because they do a pre and post show, kind of like what we're doing now, but they do it before they record their episode, and then they continue talking for a little bit after. And I like hearing the weird stuff like that and stuff that's not about the show. And then what ends up happening after that is they so what they were saying was that they were going to put out in the normal podcast feed, they were going to go through this service that just put in ads somewhere, and so they would have complete journalistic integrity because they wouldn't be picking the sponsors. But I don't like that, so I don't want to have. And the same thing happened with True Crime All the Time and True Crime All the Time Unsolved and Criminology. Is they have, like, for instance, Criminology has this Madison Reed ad right now, which is like for women's hair care or something like that, or women's cosmetology products. And so when I listen to them, like, it's the very first thing that pops up, and I do try to skip it, but it's just annoying. I don't like to have to skip it. So I'm with you, Doug. We're not gonna have sponsors. If we keep getting we keep getting listener feedback that is complaining about how terrible we are, maybe we'll just not do the podcast altogether.
Oh, come on now.
I'm just kidding. So celebrate Peter Pan. Oh, that's cute. This little Pandora thing's got a thing from.
Aren't they cool? I thought they
Uh,
were cool. Yeah, Small World.
starting June. What day is today?
4th.
June 5th.
That
So
started.
yesterday. So starting early this week. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm just gonna not write that. I'm just gonna read. Galaxy says Batu town changed. Yeah, I forgot to mention that last week that it's
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Doug left. It's just Laura.
Maybe he had to do something.
He might be watching and just not in the chat. Who knows?
Oh, I was like, how do you know? I see what you're saying now.
Yeah,
TG? Who's TG?
that's the new. That's whoever the new.
That's interesting that it put their nickname on, because usually it's the name and then your nickname is that your at handle thing or whatever.
If they didn't put in their real name,
Oh, that's true.
because
That's
mine
true.
was Mythgard in the beginning, and I had to change it to Tag so people would know in the chat who I was.
Hollywood Backlot. Hollywood Studios Backlot.
Yeah. Yours is Grandma Laura. Oh, it just fell asleep. I first looked down, Doug, and I thought it said, "You just fell asleep," and I was like,
Well, there's that.
"Oh, we
there
put
too.
you to
There's
sleep."
that too.
I'm terrible at spelling sometimes.
Did you do the charms?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I should say done if I've done it. Sorry that we're not talking too much right now. I'm trying to think so I can get through this real quick. Doug, is your wife watching as well? And then I see Laura typing. I'm like, Laura, you are not Doug. You do not have a wife. Just kidding.
Ooh, what's going on here? Is the American Idol one done?
Yep. All right, so we can.
I'm not gonna bother with the
Circle D?
Yeah. Did you do the gift cards one?
Yeah, you probably just wrote it, but I just took care of it. Delete. All right. So I think the first thing we should talk about is the annual pass changes. So I'm going to move that over. And then do you want to talk, what do you think the second story should be? Pay increase, I think. Oh.
I'm gonna let you.
Are you
move
doing
things
stuff?
Because I was trying to move things and it was goofing things up.
Oh yeah, it just undid.
Should I pull a name while you're doing that? So these poor
No,
people.
you are obsessed.
It's exciting.
What happened to my article?
Oh, gosh darn it! I lost someone else.
What happened?
I'm good.
Annual pass.
But what if it's Laura or Doug?
What if it's Laura or Doug?
They're gonna want to know.
They can wait.
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
We're almost to the show. And you can draw it at the beginning.
I really wish that we could see a live recording of Doug acting out Thor Ragnarok with his children. That sounds adorable.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Do it. Do it.
James said it should probably be recorded.
That could be That could be a perk.
Oh, Lord. But that means we'd have to give Doug some money.
Yeah, Doug would need a kickback for that, though.
Yep. You just really like the Pixar Harmonic Orchestra.
I do. Well, we haven't talked about the change that I put in there. I know, it just so happened that we were talking about them in chat today, too. The thing I like the... Dang it!
What?
Doug!
What?
Sarah said that he stopped and won't let her record.
Doug.
Sorry, Doug.
We're going to kick Doug out of the chat.
Oh, no! You'd be kicking Sarah out since Sarah's the one
That's
in
true.
it.
Sarah, we'll get you a different account.
This is gonna be so like random because I've been sitting here and shaking this forever. I'm trying to think one of our listeners really liked this hat too. Who was that? Because somebody took a picture of their conductor hat.
That was
Marshall?
Marshall.
You know what we haven't heard from in a while? We have not heard from... Oh, now I'm blanking. Jerry. Haven't heard from Jerry the Hut. All right, are we ready?
No.
No. Why aren't we ready?
I have to write the top.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you think that's Pop or Pope?
Pop.
Laura, are you saying me too because you're also anxious for us to choose a name? Poor conductor hat.
All right, so Nathan, blah, blah, blah. We should talk about the fact that you should change that and add in the fact that, like, we were live streaming this episode so people know how awesome that is. So you can add that in there as well.
Oh, I was going to do another, like, I say that. What are you doing? Oh. Got my hopes up, Laura. I thought somebody was on my side for picking a name right away. Yes!
I told you that we were going to do it right away. I don't know why you're thinking that it wasn't happening. Good Lord, Teresa. Did you update the bottom too? Oh, yeah, because you're just going to say whatever. Perfect. All right.
Was recorded via live stream. How do I say that? Was live streamed.
If you were a patron at the cast member level or above, you could have watched this week's episode as it was being recorded via live stream.
Oh.
You look concerned. All right, folks. So we're done with the script for right now. I'm going to turn this over. Oh, it was on us. I didn't realize it was on us the whole time. I thought it was on the screen. Sorry, guys.
Good thing I was playing with the hat. Give him something to look at.
Oh, jeez. Sorry. Oh, I didn't even finish going through the news. Jang nabbit. Oh. Advance purchase tickets to Mickey's Halloween party.
Already? I want to go back already. It's only been 2 weeks. This week.
Okay, so I gotta Nikes. I gotta move all these down. And this has got to be the Mickey's Halloween party. I knew there was something. Stop clicking that.
Thank you guys for being so patient since it's almost been an hour of
Yeah.
you watching us put this together. What'd you do?
What do you mean, what did I do? I moved stuff down because I'm putting in the holiday.
Oh, I see.
Holiday. Yeah. Should I put the dates?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Maybe not. What if we do runs through first date to last date? Because don't they have...
I got a way. I
A
got
lot.
a way to do it. Okay, so I'm just putting C article because then I'll just wing it when I get there.
You'll wing it. That's me.
Oh, well, you got to wing it then. So pull it up, and then
Yep.
they've got a calendar if you go further down that shows you the dates.
Oh, no.
So in September, it's on Wednesdays and Fridays and one Monday. And then through all of October, it's Tuesdays and Fridays, except for the last week, which is Monday and Wednesday.
Oh, my gosh.
Do you see the calendar?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I can add that in with Pirates coming back. Where is it? Is June 8th this Friday? 6th. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, we're almost there. All right, closing out a mail because I don't want that to pop up in the middle of anything. Laura, okay, I'm closing out of the chat for that. I need to click on this and bring this over
Yes,
here.
Jackie is upstairs. She's getting a little bit older, so going up and down the basement stairs has been getting a little bit more difficult for poor Miss Jackie. How old is she?
She's like 13 or 14. All right, just to make sure. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Can you guys still hear us?
Yeah. Let us know if you can still hear us. Pretty please.
We want to make sure you can hear us
Oh, did mine crash too?
when we call the name. Did yours do that funny thing like mine did?
No, there it is.
Oh, it did it again. Stop it.
Oh, good. So you can still hear us. Perfect. All right. Ready to go?
Yes.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging on with us. We'll try to make this fun on some way.
It's like a bonus to the already bonus. Live stream.
Right? All right, here we go. Coming up on this episode of Disneyland Weekly, annual pass holder changes, possible cast member pay increases.
Galaxy's Edge gets another name, Pirates returns soon, and more. Disneyland Weekly starts now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Disneyland Weekly for the week of June 6th, 2018. I'm Teg Bushman.
And I'm Therese Urban. First off, a big shout out to Nathan for becoming a DL Weekly patron this week. For supporting the show, our patrons receive some pretty neat extras like access to our private chat, bonus episodes, and some DL Weekly support swag. This week was actually recorded and live streamed for our patrons that are at the cast member level and above. So again, thank you to Nathan for your support.
And another patron thing that we're about to do right now. So coming later this month is our first patron guest discussion episode. We're going to pull a name out of our Mickey Ears hat to see who our first guest will be. Teresa has been dying to do this.
I've been so excited about this.
So
Do you wanna
everybody,
pull?
everybody
Make
who
it
is
fair.
everybody who's at the patron is a patron. Their name is in this hat.
Yes.
So if we pull, we will be in contact. You get to pick the topic you want to talk about for the discussion. We'll work out all the technical details, and we'll have you on later this month. So
this is everybody that's a patron. So it doesn't matter if you are
what level? Yep,
the general
$1
admission level
Yep.
all the way up to our lead level. Your name is in here, so good luck.
We're gonna pick one. Who we picking? People on the live stream can. James is producer James coming down.
Said this is my thing.
Yeah. So producer James is coming. We're gonna have to edit some of this out, but that's all right. Get in the camera shot.
What, don't you have the... Can
Okay.
you pick one?
No.
Oh!
I get to pick this.
Pull it in front of the camera so we know that it's legit. And it is. Who is it?
It's Priscilla.
Yeah,
Priscilla.
Priscilla.
So Priscilla, we will be in contact with you, and you get to pick the topic, and we will do another drawing next month for the next patron that's going to be on. So look forward to that. If you would like a chance to be a guest on the show, become a patron at DisneylandWeekly.com/support, and your name will be included in the next drawing. Now let's get to the news. Hold on. So much going on. I gotta try to watch the stream and watch the thing and watch the thing. Oh, drum roll, please, Doug. That's funny.
Too late.
All right, so annual pass changes. I gotta make sure that I got this on here. Okay. Well, this week Disneyland. This week, the Disneyland Resort made some changes to its annual pass holder program. So one of the biggest changes from all of this is the fact that there are now different days and different blockout days for each of the two parks. And this is obviously getting ready for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So for instance, if we look at this year compared to next year, because that's when the changes will take place, if you have a Southern California annual passport, which you can only get through renewals right now anyway, this month of June, you had 19 days that you could access both parks. Next June, you will have 0 days for Disneyland and 20 for Disney California Adventure. If you have a select annual passport, you would have 4 days admission to both parks this June. Next June would be 0 for Disneyland and 3 for DCA only. If you have a deluxe annual passport, this year you'd have 25 days to both parks in June, with only 13 for Disneyland and 17 for DCA next June. For the Signature Annual Passport and the Signature Plus Annual Passport, 30 days for both. Those have not changed. So the biggest change here has got to be for the Deluxe Annual Passport, going from 25 down to 13 at Disneyland and 17 at Disney California Adventure. What do you think?
You know, unfortunately, I mean, I feel for the annual pass holders, but I understand why Disney's having to do this. I think with, the introduction with the new area and the new land, they don't really know what to expect. I think they're expecting huge turnouts, which I wouldn't be surprised if there were. So they're trying to better prepare themselves. And I guess the best way to try and figure out numbers, unfortunately, annual pass holders are always kind of a variable. You don't, you have, say there's, 1,000 people with an annual passport. You don't know that. I mean, it could be all 1,000 of those people come that day, or none of them do. So I think, unfortunately, with the numbers that they're expecting for attendance, it's just too much of a variable right now that they're not able to take. And like I said, I feel for my annual pass holders, because that's got to be a bummer.
But I think it's necessary.
Yeah,
I
on the
think
business end.
Yep, and I think that it's good that instead of just blocking out more days, that they still allow you to get into California
Yeah,
Adventure.
I think that's nice too.
And if you want unlimited access, just get a Premier Passport.
All right, so who would have thought that we would already be talking about this? But Mickey's Halloween party tickets are on sale for annual pass holders as of June 5th. This year, there will be 15 different nights to choose from. It looks like the first party will be on the 19th of September, falls on a Wednesday. And then, of course, the final party will be on Halloween, which falls on a Wednesday also. So it looks like, depending on the week, most weeks there's at least 2 parties. A couple weeks, it looks like there are 3s. There's all sorts of dates. I'm not going to go through all of them. Most likely, though, they're falling on Tuesdays and Fridays would be your best bet. If you do plan to go to Mickey's Halloween party, just so you know, little tip, it looks like the admissions do go up the closer you get to actual Halloween.
Which makes sense.
Which, yeah, makes sense. So, for instance, the first night, the gate admission for it is $105, whereas on the last night on Halloween, it goes up to $130. Not huge, but still makes a difference, especially if you're going with your family.
Yeah, and actually, I think it's fairly reasonable. Like I've said before, with all of these extra tickets and stuff, you get a ton of candy. You get like $130 worth of candy when
Yeah.
you go. So the cool thing here, though, is so if you were to visit, in the example here, if you were to visit on September 19th, you could buy a one-day ticket good for 10 hours in the park, which is from 8 to 6, or you buy the $105 Halloween party ticket, which is good for 8 hours, from 3 p.m. to 11 because Disneyland will close early for the Halloween party. So it kind of depends on what you want to spend your money on. And then, what I've seen online, tons of places, I do want to go to a Halloween party. It's like on my bucket list
Yeah.
because there's so many character meet and greets and things like that going on that really just kind of, I think make it worth it for all the different experiences you could have for the price. Well, some cast members of the Disneyland Resort have the opportunity to get a 36% pay increase if the Master Services Council accepts Disney's proposal. The proposal would increase the minimum wage for these jobs to $15 per hour, 2 years ahead of California's minimum wage hike to $15. The council represents Teamsters Automotive, Industrial, Theme Park, Service Sector, and Allied Workers Local 495, United Food and Commercial Workers Local 324, Service Employees International Union, United Server Workers West, Bakery, Confectionery, Tobacco Workers, and Grain Millers International Union Local 83. So this is something that's going to, the 36% would be between now and 2020, and so it'd be tapered from now until then, so it'd be going up to $15 by 2020. And so I think this is good. I mean, anytime you're going to pay the people better, although I'm still a little disappointed that it's only $15 an hour.
But that's the minimum. That's what you're
true.
starting in at. So
That's true. But I just feel like, there's been stories lately about how cast members are living in their cars and they're staying in hotel rooms because they can't afford all this different stuff. So I think that Disney should pay as much as it possibly can. I mean, rates and stuff goes up. Attendance has been crazy, crazy levels. So I just don't see why they can't figure out something to pay the cast members more. And I mean, I get it. I mean, they employ literally thousands of people. But I guess I just want more. I want the people that are there to make us happy. I want them to be happy because when they're happy, then we can be happier.
Well, if you haven't already heard, the new village that will make up Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be called Black Spire Outpost. So we already knew that the planet is Batuu. And so now we have an actual village name. So Tay and I both thought that sounded like a pretty cool name. We did forget to include this in last week's episode, so we do apologize because this is a little bit delayed news. But I think it sounds cool.
I'll be honest. I like Black Spire Outpost a lot better than I like the term Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of excited for this. And they also released some more. They released some more concept drawings and stuff for the land too. We'll have a link in our show notes to that. But anything with this land, I'm excited to see because it's the next big thing after Pixar Pier opens this month.
It
So
just sounds so edgy.
it does. It does. Well, this Friday marks the return of Pirates of the Caribbean with the new Fast Pass machines. So that'll be cool to see how that kind of all works out with the crowd that we talked about
I've got
previously.
my fingers crossed for this. I'm hoping,
It
for
makes it better.
everyone's sake, that it will make it better.
And then, of course, the new rock, because they had a
Yeah.
permit to do all the rock work that I'll be seeing. Be interesting to see what they come up with that. Plus, on the same day, as Red appears for the first time or in a different capacity in the attraction, she will also be out in New Orleans Square meeting guests for the first time.
Looks like her debut is actually on June 8th. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So to help celebrate Pixar Fest, the Pixaramic Orchestra, presented by Triple Dent Gum, which I didn't quite. This is a brilliant Easter egg. Sorry, sidetracking. This is a brilliant Easter egg. So I did get to watch them and see them perform live when I was there a couple weeks ago. Great. If you guys have an opportunity, go see them at the park. If you can't go to the park, I would definitely recommend for you to maybe see if there's a decent video that you can watch them online. They're very entertaining, very high energy. But they kept going and doing this little jingle about Triple Dent Gum, and I didn't quite catch it. And actually, earlier this week, it finally dawned on me. It is an Easter egg to Inside Out. So I don't know, you've seen Inside Out, correct?
Yeah.
So, when they are going back through the like deep storage of memories, the triple deck gum jingle is the thing that they keep popping up to get stuck in each other's
Oh.
heads. So I thought that was a really cool, very hidden,
That is good.
very hidden Easter egg. But anyways, they have been performing daily at the Paradise Garden Bandstand. Their wacky style includes traditional instruments, but it does also have unconventional ones like kazoos, slide whistles, and duck calls.
I know you like the kazoos one.
Yes, it was fun. But they will be moving to a new location at Pixar Pier later this summer. So I was pretty excited about that since they just came out with, Pixar Fest. I'm hoping maybe they'll be sticking around a little bit longer too. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, because they got that new band shell area in Pixar Pier that they're gonna be kind of at, so that's great. Well, a new Disney Parks Pandora collection was released earlier this week, with Peter Pan celebrating its 65th anniversary this year. Pandora has created a set of 3 new park-exclusive charms. The set includes a Peter Pan charm, and It's a Small World charm, and a Fantasyland charm. The It's a Small World charm is of the clock face, and the Fantasyland charm is a quote saying, "I live in Fantasyland," with an image of the castle. These look pretty cool. I saw the It's a Small World one, and I'm like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, they are neat. So for those of you that don't know, Pandora is just a brand, and it's basically a
Not
different,
Avatar.
a different twist on charm bracelets. So they're either beads or the actual, traditional dangle charms. They are a little bit more on the pricey side, but they are very high quality, very classy looking charms. And I think it's just so neat that they have a specific Disney line and then also a specific parks line that's exclusive. And a lot of times, like these, you can actually only purchase these in the park unless you're going to pay, I guess, up the nose through eBay or something. But
So do you think they're going to add more to it and make more attractions part of it and stuff?
oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure. While the master of mystic arts, Doctor Strange, has been visiting the parks recently, guests can meet him over in the Hollywood Studios Backlot over in Disney, California. I said that really weird. We're going
Yep.
to say that again.
Yep.
The master of mystic arts, Doctor Strange, has been visiting the parks recently. Guests can meet him over in the Hollywood Studios Backlot in Disney California Adventure. Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Black Widow, Captain America, Spider-Man, Loki, Thor, and Gamora will be meeting new recruits for a limited time this summer. So obviously, I think that we keep seeing more and more of these characters, these superheroes, doing more meet and greets with guests, trying to get the hype for what will be. We don't know what it officially will be called, but for now, Marvel Land.
Yeah.
When I was there, I saw Doctor Strange. Let's see, who else did I see?
Spider-Man?
I saw Doctor Strange, Captain America, Spider-Man, Loki, and Thor. I saw Gamora as well as the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy too. That Groot is so much fun. If you guys, again, another shout out to the park. If you guys have a chance, they have a Guardians. I don't remember what exactly it was called, but it was like a Guardians dance party that they do several times throughout the day right in front of the Mission Breakout attraction, where you can meet several of the Guardians, and the costume that they have for Groot is just amazing. It's worth just to check it out just to see Groot in costume.
I'm going to hate my editing later, but it's like, what the heck? Sorry, there was a door open behind me. That was strange. Well, Disney has come out with some new gift card designs for you to enjoy. They include explore, play, relax, shop, dine, golf, or tour, and come in increments of $25 to $500. Disney is calling these designs the Experience the Magic designs. So, not too exciting here. They just got a lot of different designs and stuff for the gift cards, which is good because,
I think they're trying to get people to think a little bit outside of the box as to why they'd be giving someone a Disney gift card. So with graduations happening right now, Father's Day just around the corner, they kind of want to remind people that, anytime is a good time to give somebody a Disney gift card. So I think...
I'd love a Disney gift card.
Oh, for sure. I think so. I think the rebranding they're hoping will get more people to purchase them for maybe events that they wouldn't think of.
Yeah.
I'm curious about, the one thing, did you notice, because we did get this from the Disney Parks blog, so we did get this right from Disney. Did you notice, are they just themed these ways, or do you have to use them specifically for these things? So say like the shop versus dine versus golf. Can I use the golf one if I'm just visiting the park and wanting to go to dinner? Did they say?
I'm looking again.
We can edit this out. I would assume so.
Disney gift cards are redeemable for practically all things Disney throughout Walt Disney World,
Okay.
Disneyland, and the Disney Cruise Line at Disney Store locations in the U.S., Canada, and Puerto Rico, as well as ShopDisney.com and the Shop Disney Parks app.
All right, so it's just basically the packaging
In
is
fact-
the only thing that's specific.
In fact, they say here, so if your favorite golfer decides to go shopping instead, the Disney gift card was still the perfect gift.
Perfect.
So that's good. So you kind of give it like with an idea in mind, but if they don't, that's what I like about gift cards
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, for your birthday, for Christmas, for any time you would get a gift, sometimes, people have it in their, they have this idea for you and they think like to them it's the greatest gift ever, but then they give it to you and maybe it's not exactly what you need at the time.
Sure.
Maybe you have other needs that you'd rather do. So it's nice that you aren't like locked in, I guess.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like gift cards.
Is it me?
Yeah, ESPN Zone.
All right. The ESPN Zone closed this past Saturday, but for those of you wondering if all those cast members were laid off or not, 70% of them have been relocated to other areas. I think that's really neat, and that's a very high number. So I wonder if maybe...
So they elected. So
That's
apparently
awesome.
all of the cast members working in this location were given the opportunity. Did they want to stay where they, did they want to stay with the company and move to a different position
Sure.
somewhere in the company? Or was ESPN Zone the only thing for them and that's all they
and
wanted
they
to do?
wanted to part ways.
Right. So
Very
30% decided not to stay. 70% have been relocated. I think that's awesome that instead of, people losing their job because they're just building a new hotel. Like it's not like ESPN Zone was doing poor business. It was just they had a more important pressing need for that
Sure.
area. So
Sure.
why ruin a bunch of people's lives for it? Well, if you're a fan of American Idol, you might have seen this season's winner, Maddie Pop, in the parks last Friday. She got to hang out with the Incredibles as part of Pixar Fest, so that's great to see more celebrities. In fact, I think in our chat, I think Habby was saying that there was a ton of celebrities not too long ago
Yeah,
that were
so it
just
was
in the
actually
park.
one of the days that I was visiting the park. I think it was the Tuesday that I was there. There were several celebrities that were there. However, I'm terrible, and even if
Didn't
I was
notice them?
standing right next to one in line, I probably wouldn't recognize them. So he told me who he saw online was there that day. And as far as I know, I did not see them.
Well, there's thousands of people there.
However, the one cool thing that I did notice, so remember my first day, I went to the left to try to do Indiana Jones,
Yep.
but the line was crazy, so I continued on and I went to the Haunted Mansion. Well, when I was coming back from New Orleans Square and Critter Country area, and I was walking past, I don't even know what you want to call it, but the staircases that lead up to the Dream Suite above Pirates, both of those staircases, they're always blocked off. There's always like, this little tiny chain that says it's
Yep.
like private or whatever, keep out, I don't know what it says.
Yeah.
But they actually had security guards stationed at the base of each of those stairs, which I had never noticed before. And I paid attention. The rest of the time that I was there, they did not have people stationed there. So I guess that'd be a really good indicator if you're trying to catch a celebrity and maybe meet a celebrity while you're in the park.
Look for security guards.
See if there's security guards there. I don't know if that's a real tip or not, but there were security guards there, and we did hear that there were some pretty big name celebrities there that day.
Well,
So
there you go.
2 + 2, sometimes
Equals
5.
Yep. Well, that wraps up the news for this week. So this week we're going to discuss something that we asked about on last week's episode, but we got wasn't it last week that we had with you came back?
Yes.
And we got so distracted that we went off in a different direction. So this week, Teresa is going to talk about her experience with food at the Disneyland Resort when she was there just a week and a half ago.
Yeah, so I kind of went back through all of my photos, and because I tried to document everything because I knew Tag was going to have a billion questions, and I knew you guys would be interested too. So we will figure out some way to maybe post it either on Patreon or post it on Facebook, but we can post the different photos of the food that I did experience and enjoy while I was visiting the parks. Thankfully, I did not have anything there that was horrible, which I was surprised once you guys learned some of the things that I did get to try there. So we're just gonna start it off. I broke it up by day, basically, because that
She's
was
so
the easiest
organized.
way for me to figure it out. But the first food item that I ate was
The very first, like the first day,
it
the
was
first
the
item.
first
Really?
day, first item that I had.
I am surprised.
Which was probably the most ridiculously priced thing, but that's okay. I
God.
did get to have the root beer float that was served in Woody's boot.
Well, you're paying for the boot.
Yeah, so that was I found that at the Golden Horseshoe. It was like almost $18 to get this thing, but I did have the boot. And I think I mentioned this last week. If you guys are interested in doing this too, you can get this served to you separately. So you don't have to have your root beer float served in the boot and then have to figure out what you're going to do with this sticky, nasty boot the rest of the day that you're going to have to carry on the park. So I opted for the less messy way.
So was the root beer float worth $17.49?
I don't think any root beer float is worth $17.49.
What was Vern saying? He seemed like he was kind of like disappointed with the root beer
Yeah,
float.
I wasn't too thrilled with it. I mean, it was good. It was a root beer float. I think maybe, I don't know if just specifically in this area we're a little bit, I don't know, a little bit biased, a little bit jaded on root beer floats. We have a lot of places in this area that make
custom,
really good like homemade root beers. And I think this was just a generic, like maybe Barks or something out of the gun. So it wasn't a very good root beer. The ice cream is really good. And it wasn't super hot. So having a root beer float not on a hot day is not ideal either. I do not regret this though, because that boot of Mr. Woody's is probably displayed in my home now, and the best part about that boot is that Andy signed the bottom of it. So
which is what you were like your first concern when you saw they were coming out with this. Did Andy sign the bottom?
Yes, that was my major concern, is I was really worried, because if he wouldn't have, that would have been
well, you know it's Disney
uproar.
And you know that they had to do every little bit as best they could. So what was the second thing you had? So then
for lunch, a lot of the food, I will like say this like right up front, basically everything that we had, Vern and I shared. So
good portion sizes.
Yes, great portion sizes. The next thing we had was the garden mozzarella flatbread, which was over at the Red Rose Tavern.
This looked good.
Over in Fantasyland. It was delicious. Oh
it's
my
only
gosh,
$8.99.
Yeah, it was $8.99 for this thing. It was probably, I'm gonna guess, probably about at least a foot long, maybe a little bit longer, and probably, I don't know, a good like 6 inches deep. It had 6 nice sized pieces, but it was really good. It was really fresh tasting, and kind of just refreshing. So, and it very light. So
what time of day?
This was lunchtime.
Lunchtime, okay. Because I think that's important too. Because if you get it like towards the end of the night, it might be sitting there for a while, kind of a thing. Like maybe lunchtime would be more fresh. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing too. Is I think really any restaurant you go to, especially Disney restaurants, as much as you don't want to hit it up when it's busy, you really want to hit up restaurants when they're busy, because you know that everything's as fresh as it possibly could be. It hasn't been sitting there for a while.
Well, something that I think about when I think about Disney food too, that I don't think a lot of people think about, or at least I guess I just didn't think about for a long time, was if you think about the literally thousands of people who are there, they're preparing thousands of dishes a day. So like, you go to your mozzarella flatbread, hundreds at least of people are ordering these a day. So they have to the food has to be good, but at the same time, you have to make it like hundreds, maybe thousands of times in a day.
Well,
so that's crazy.
The other part of it too is most of these things you really don't have that long of a wait for. So the Red Rose Tavern is a counter service restaurant. So I would be surprised if we waited 5 minutes.
So did they have them pre-made just sitting there?
No, I mean, it was coming. I could see it coming out of a kitchen, but I think they're just, they just kind of
make them.
Yep. I was gonna say maybe they just kind of churn them out. I think it is one of the more popular items, because I did notice a lot of other people there did have the same.
So what was on it? So it had mozzarella.
So what it was? So it was a flatbread.
Yeah.
Marinara sauce.
Yep.
It had big chunks, I think, of Roma tomatoes, so slices of Roma tomatoes, and it had slices of mozzarella cheese. So it's not your typical shredded mozzarella cheese on a normal pizza. It was like you took the
fresh
ball of mozzarella and like sliced off a disc of it.
Yeah.
I guess would be a good way of
medallions.
saying it. Yes, and then it was also had some fresh basil on top of it too. That
sounds great.
Delicious. All right,
so we'll go from high scale like flatbread to
So then the next thing we had while we were sitting and waiting for the Pixar Play Parade, we were sitting right next to the churro cart by the Sleeping Beauty Castle. So clearly we had to have a churro. So that was actually my first Disneyland churro, and we did have just the original at that point. The only other churro they were serving at that location at that time was the rose gold strawberry flavored,
which you said
churro,
was kind of a nauseating smell.
Yeah. Sitting next to the cart, the smell didn't seem very appealing to me, so I really didn't want to consume one. But the regular flavored churro is good. And and the other thing too, churros are big. I never realized how big.
Oh yeah, they're like
Huge.
a couple feet long.
Yeah. Couple feet.
Well, I mean, they
I don't
seem
think
really long.
They're pretty long.
Yeah.
And then, as you guys probably are, you guys already knew this because this is about the time when I was sitting and waiting to get seated for Cafe Orleans is when I called in and spoke with Tag over the phone. So we had dinner at Cafe Orleans. It was just called steak and potatoes on the menu. I'm a big steak person, so you're gonna notice that as we continue on here. But it was a chef's choice steak. It was roasted baby potatoes and little baby corn and Brussels sprouts. And then Vern had the Monte Cristo sandwich, which was
people always rave about.
very good. To me, it's very rich, so I don't think I could eat a whole one by myself. But he really enjoyed it. And the price points for that, my steak and potatoes was $24. His sandwich was $21. So a little bit on the pricey side, but
Well, 24 for steak and potatoes isn't too bad.
no, I don't think so. And considering Cafe Orleans is a sit-down table service,
Yep.
so we did have a really kind server. I believe his name was Frank. He was really nice, really cool. So you're it's a little bit more because you're paying for the atmosphere.
I know we're talking about food, but you just reminded me of something. So did you end up going to City Hall and complimenting any cast members?
So, yes and no. So the last day that we were there, I tried, but they were already closed, so they wouldn't let me do it there. So I did get a survey from Disneyland because I signed up. They have those people in the park that ask for your information to do a survey. So I was nice enough to sign up to do the survey. And in the survey, I mentioned a couple of people. And then I also went online later and gave a couple shout outs to different cast members that were there too.
Good. It's always good to make sure that you recognize
for
them.
sure.
You remembered his name, so that's why I was curious if you had.
So he was great. So he was one of the people I gave a shout out to.
Now, this next item I'm a little upset about because you got something. I don't care if it was good or bad or what. You got a macaroon.
I did get a macaroon. So this was my first ever macaroon. So on our way out of the parks, poor Tag. He didn't get a macaroon brought back to him. But so on our way out of the parks, I did stop at the Jolly Holiday Bakery, and for $5.99, I had the Minnie Mouse rose gold macaroon.
How big was the Minnie Mouse macaroon?
It's probably like this.
So it's a pretty large
So
macaroon.
probably about like maybe a little bit smaller than like the diameter of a softball.
Sure.
So yeah, no, it was a good size. Honestly, I didn't want to eat the whole thing myself, but Vern didn't want any of it, so I ended up eating the whole thing myself because it was big enough to share for sure. So it was
I wouldn't have shared.
It was kind of
It's a macaroon.
a rose gold pink on the outside. Again, I took photos so we can post them online somewhere, but it was filled with a strawberry and lemon verbena buttercream. So it was really good. I do think that I did myself a disservice by carrying it around with me for a little while and carrying it back to the hotel and then eating it later because the consistency I think was a little bit off, but I think that was my own fault. And I was very fortunate to get the last one of the day, so it may have been sitting there a little bit too long, but that's okay. I'm not discounting macaroons because of this one.
Somewhere in town has macaroons, and I think you and I need to go get them at some point.
All right, so
You ate a lot on Tuesday, but I'm looking at Wednesday, and you only have a couple things listed here.
Because you can see I get myself distracted. This would be case in point right here.
Okay.
So on Wednesday, we were over in Disney California Adventure.
I don't see a breakfast on here.
Okay, so none of the days have breakfast because our hotel served breakfast. So to save some money and to be able to splurge a little bit more on other food items, we did not do breakfast at the park at all.
Sure.
So Wednesday for lunch we had. They called it, and this is exactly what it was on the menu. I thought it was called something different, but it's called the Taste Shifting Corn Dog. So this was that corn dog that had the sausage, the pepper jack cheese, and then I think it was 2 different types of sausages.
Gotcha.
And that was over at the Corn Dog Castle. That thing was ginormous. There was no way that I would have been able to eat it on my own. Vern and I definitely shared that. It also came with a side. I believe we just had chips with it. And it was $9.49. So I thought that was a really good deal
not too bad if
considering
it's huge.
how big it was. I'm telling you, the thing was probably 10, 11 inches long and a very thick diameter because the sausages in there were bigger than it was more like pieces of brat that was in there.
Yeah.
So think about how big that would be.
Sure.
So Really good. And then, I got distracted and we did all sorts of other things. This is the day we also had Max Pass, so I was like fully using it to its maximum potential.
Right.
And so we decided to go over to the Cove Bar and pay our respects to the Cove Bar. And we did have the lobster nachos.
I'm jealous of these.
Vern had the Neverland tea, and I had the Pina Colada. So the Pina Colada was basically a pina colada with raspberry puree in it. The Neverland tea was basically some sort of Long Island iced tea. All sorts, like just a laundry list of ingredients. I do not remember what was in there. The only thing that's for some reason stuck out in my mind, I know gin was part of it.
Now, Vern was saying that for other than the nachos, which was a pretty okay price for the amount of lobster and stuff that was on there, the drinks were a little pricey for what they were.
I think we're spoiled here in Wisconsin. I think we pay a lot less for alcohol than most other places do. I wasn't able to find what the prices were for the two drinks, but the lobster nachos were $18. However, very large portion, very easily shared by Vern and I. If you're a lobster person, tons and tons. There was a lot of meat on it. I did find out later that you could also, if you're not a lobster person, you can order it with steak. And I think it seemed to me that the chips were thick and they like made you feel like they were house-made fresh chips. They didn't seem like those thin, just popped them out of a bag kind of thing. So it was very, very fancy nachos, if you would.
Yeah.
But it was good. So Thursday we were back over in Disneyland. Had to have my Dole Whip float while we were waiting to go see the Tiki Room. So got the Dole Whip float. I did the smart thing, which is amazing to me that so many people don't realize this. I walked past this like mile line long on the outside of the Tiki Bar, went inside and walked right up to the counter. It's amazing to me that people don't realize that there's two sides of this counter. I maybe shouldn't be talking about this so that it's, going to make it so that it's more congested on the inside. But anyway, so the Dole Whip float is Dole Whip served with pineapple juice. Again, good size. I think they're really reasonable. $4.99 for one of those. Lunch. Never would I thought I would be saying this, but we went to Pizza Planet, and I had the freshest green miso pesto pasta that you could possibly have. It was delicious. I mean, literally, she was making it. I was standing at the counter kind of thinking about it because we had heard mixed reviews on whether it was worth it or not, and it was $10. It was about $10.50 for the pasta dish. So I wasn't really sure, if that's really what I wanted or not. And as I was sitting there looking, there was one plate left. And as I was sitting there and looking, I was just kind of like, on the fence. And all of a sudden, a lady came over and started making it fresh, right in this like big, huge bowl right in front of me.
So the poor plate that's been sitting there for a while, you're like, I don't know.
I was like, you know what? And so and she didn't even hesitate. Actually, she said, "Oh, were you waiting for this?" And so she made it fresh for me, scooped everything fresh, and it never even touched the table. I guess she just handed it right over.
It looked like it had like half a pig of bacon on it too.
Lots of bacon. I'm assuming it was shredded Parmesan cheese on top. Delicious.
And a pesto sauce, right? Yeah.
I could not finish it. It was that big. Oh, so good. And Vern got the cheeseburger pizza, which I wanted nothing to do with this thing. Nothing. Honestly, though, going and seeing it, we were there at a little bit busier of a time, which was annoying because it was busy. But like I said, you're getting fresher food, especially with this kind of counter service stuff. So it actually didn't look too bad in person. The thing that made it look more appetizing to me, the pickles were not dehydrated, almost crunchy looking. They were like fresh, juicy looking thick pickle slices.
I have the opposite reaction than you have. Like, I feel like I don't want like dehydrated pickles, but I don't necessarily want like not fresh like I don't know. I wanted like cooked pickles. They looked raw. I don't know. I'm weird. Don't worry about me. Just continue.
I've never had a cooked, I've had like deep fried pickles. I guess that's the only cooked pickle
Now
I've
I want
had.
a pickle, dang it.
Anyways, so
now you're going to hear me talking about pickles for the next like 10 episodes.
Well, okay, so I'm a big pickle person. So honestly, Vern tried it first. And he actually took a series of photos of me trying it because he thought it was going to be hilarious. It kind of was hilarious. Shockingly enough, I would never order it.
Sure.
I would never order it and eat the whole thing myself. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate trying his. If fast food burgers are your thing, that's exactly what this pizza tastes like. It was a little freaky.
This seems to be a trend because, like, you were talking about beforehand. You were talking about cheeseburger pizza. Like, that sounds terrible.
Ugh.
And then we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. And you're like, I don't know. But then you went and you totally swapped on both of these.
Well, not really the cheeseburger. Not really the cheeseburger pizza, let's be honest.
Well, you thought it was fine.
I didn't want to spit it out right away, but
away.
Yeah, no, it was good. And the thing that I was a little worried about is I'm pretty sure they use marinara on this as well as ketchup and mustard.
That's weird.
And so that sounded not appetizing to me at all. But it honestly it tasted kind of like a McDonald's cheeseburger, a typical fast food cheeseburger.
You know what I like pizza wise, and that they could do is so sometimes you can get burgers if you go to Jack in the Box or something, you can get a Western bacon cheeseburger, and instead of sauce they use barbecue sauce. I feel like that makes a good pizza. They could have done a Western burger pizza, and I think it would have been good because there's a local pizza place here in town called Polito's, and I always get their barbecue chicken.
Well, I guess
pizza.
The thing. This is how I'm gonna look at it. So we're to believe that the aliens, the little green men, took over this restaurant,
and they don't understand food.
And they
They're
don't understand food.
Burgers,
everybody likes
pizza.
Burgers. Everybody likes pizzas. So why wouldn't everybody like a cheeseburger pizza?
I
but
suppose.
Other people I talked to in the park actually said they really liked it. So I'm still one of the odd people out, not being the biggest fan of this.
Sure.
But like I said, it wasn't immediately I had to drink half of my soda to get the taste out of my mouth. Not like that at all. So if you would like to try the cheeseburger pizza over at Pizza Planet in Tomorrowland, it was actually a pretty good price point. I thought it was $8.49. Very large piece of pizza, if I could talk.
Sure.
Next thing we had, so our snack for that afternoon.
This is the one with the funny story, right? With the chocolate sauce?
Yes. So the next thing we tried was the Cocoa Churro, which we got over in the churro cart that's over in Frontierland. $5.75 for the specialty Pixar Fest churro. So this is the one that's dusted in a chocolate powder. And then it comes with this chili chocolate sauce. And so warning to everybody, I don't mind spice. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm very in the middle with it.
Pepper is too hot for me.
Yeah. Tag on the other hand.
So this story, I would have died.
Yeah. So anyway, so I was trying to get a good picture, and we can put the picture online since now I've paid for said picture immensely with my tongue. But anyway, so I dipped it into the sauce. Vern took a picture of churro with sauce on it. I got way too much sauce on this thing, and I took a bite, and it was it wasn't burning my taste buds off, but it way more zing and zip than I ever thought it was going to be. So, lesson learned.
You thought
a little
hint
bit
of spice.
Yeah, a little bit goes a long way with the chocolate sauce, unless you like zip and zing. If that's your thing, that's
sure.
cool too. So that was my Cocoa Churro experience. I did think the churro was good, both with and without the sauce. So I thought that was nice. And then for dinner, we went over to the Plaza Inn. This was actually the first time I had eaten at the Plaza Inn. I was surprised. I didn't realize that it was kind of a counter service type restaurant. I thought it was a table service. They came and gave you your stuff.
It's a beautiful restaurant.
It was it was gorgeous inside. I opted for the pot roast, and it came with mashed potatoes, fresh green beans, and a buttermilk biscuit. Vern had chipotle pineapple glazed salmon.
I didn't even know they had salmon
and
there.
He loved it. He said it was great.
Makes me want to go there and have some.
So our entrees were $18.50 and $17.99 a piece. So a little bit more spendy, but they, again, very, very large portions. And then we shared the best thing ever. We had a piece of the Pixar lemon raspberry cake. So this is that cake that you've been seeing photographed all over.
It's brightly colored.
The bright yellow, the bright blue, and then the bright red. It was delicious. I think it's like a cream cheese type frosting. It was very, very good.
Not too sweet?
No. Well, a little bit.
Because sometimes the frosting can be really overpowering.
It complemented everything really well. So like the tangy and tartness of the raspberry and the lemon, they complemented each other really well. I thought this was awesome, and really I thought again a pretty good price. It was $5.99, very decent large slice of cake, plenty for both Vern and I. So I was very happy. I didn't want that to end. It
I'm
was
jealous
so
because I
good.
want to eat one of those now.
But it was very, I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't like this word, very, very moist. Sometimes cake gets a little like dry and you feel like you have to drink half a glass of water to be able to
Especially in
swallow
like or
But
in
this
a
just
counter
melted,
service where
yeah.
it might be sitting there for a
Yeah,
while.
this just melted in your mouth. It was awesome.
Do they still have that when you walk in? Is in the Plaza Inn when you first walk in? Do they still have that middle bar that like is all the desserts?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, okay.
That's exactly. Yeah.
So like the first thing you see when you walk
First
in are
thing
the
I
desserts.
saw was the Pixar cake. Yes, exactly.
Okay, just making sure.
Exactly. And then so on our final day, we spent the morning over in California Adventure and we spent the afternoon over in Disneyland. The first thing we had, so I guess for breakfast, I had an ants on a log churro, which was over in the Bugs Land area on their churro cart. This thing was delicious. I think we talked about this last week, but it was a traditional churro it was a donut glazed icing that was then sprinkled with like chocolate crispy cereal. It was awesome. I think that was my favorite churro out of all of them.
Now, was this the one that you were a little bummed because where the wrapper is where they handed it to you did not have that?
Yeah, so only half of the churro has the toppings on it. And
Huh.
I guess the more I was bummed, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense because if you've got that little piece of paper that you're, around it, the toppings aren't going to stay on.
No, I don't want to
So I
like
get it.
take you off track here, but like I'm looking at the list for Friday, the rest of the list for Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And did you not get anything from the Cozy Cone Motel?
We didn't.
Oh, wow. Because they have some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, see, Vern really wanted what he had for lunch. That
Sure.
was like one of his Disneyland bucket list items.
Yeah.
We had to have it before we left. So the ants on a log churro was $5.25. So I noticed it was interesting. I did notice a couple of the places that say like the churros or some of the things that you kind of saw all over the place. You have to watch the prices. Some of the carts have them slightly. The prices do fluctuate. I thought it would be a standard. I'll say all churros are $3.50 or $3.75 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I did notice. If you really paid attention, that it did change.
I was gonna say the
depending on where you
cocoa
were.
churro was $5.75. The ants on a log was $5.25. Your regular churro was you have $3.54 on there.
I don't remember because, like I said, each cart was
Yeah.
different. So depending on what cart we were at, and I didn't find specifically the Sleeping Beauty Castle cart
Wow.
what their price was. But I thought that was really interesting. That was
Yeah.
not something I would have ever expected, and nothing I had ever really paid attention to before. But yeah. So anyway, so then after that, I went over. It was perfect because the sun was out. It was the most beautiful day we were there. It was starting to get hot, and I was like, you know what? That Pixar Pier parfait sounds like it would be amazing right now. So I told Vern he was going to go over and take photos of the pal around, and they had just put up some of the new cars or the gondolas on
Yep.
there. So he wanted to go over and take some closer photos of it so that we could share them with you guys. So he's like, I'm going to go do that while you wait in line. Well, I walk over to the adorable snowman frozen treat stand, and there was no line. It was like the heavens opened up, and it was just this like, oh, moment. Because every other time that we had walked by, there was this crazy long line. So that, I don't know how the timing on that worked out so well, but it did. So that was great. And so anyway, so the Pixar Pier parfait was $5.99. Very good, a good size. So it was comparable to the size of what the Dole Whip float was. So if you guys are familiar with roughly what that size is, that's what this was. So again, this was the lemon soft serve with the kind of blue raspberry slush, and the mix of the two was great. I really enjoyed it. I could see how this is going to be a very popular thing, definitely on a hot summer day in California. They're gonna be selling these like crazy for sure.
I'm interested to see what the other food locations when they open, like the chicken thing and
Yeah.
like what that food's gonna be like. It seems like, and we've talked about this a lot on the episode on the show in the last few episodes when we've talked about food. Is it really seems like whoever's dealing with their food, they've really like kicked it up a notch.
For sure. I feel like we're getting a lot of things that are now more Disney specific, I guess would be a good way of saying it. It's not like, I mean, let me back up. The pot roast, really, I could get. I mean, you can get
Right.
pot roast anywhere, but like Chipotle pineapple glazed salmon, I feel like that's a little bit
Yeah.
more, more specific.
Something unique.
Yeah. Obviously, things like Neverland tea, very Disney.
Right.
But anyways, so then for lunch, I did not partake in this, but Vern, like, again, this was his like bucket list thing. He kept seeing these T-shirts all over the place that said Dole Whip, like my Disneyland like checklist, and it was Dole Whip, churro, and turkey leg. So he had to stop and get a turkey leg. So he went over and got a turkey leg from A cart over in California Adventure, I want to say it was roughly 11. I really think his was about $12. Other places we looked, it was closer to 11 or $10. So this was the item that I noticed fluctuating and varied in price depending on what cart you were getting it from.
Well, I'll tell you, I got a turkey leg because I was kind of in the same boat as Vern, where people raved about it.
Yeah.
And it's actually a bigger thing in Disney World
Mm-hmm.
than it is in Disneyland. But I got one a few years ago, and my crummy luck with it, because you got to hold it by the bone, like it's a leg,
Of course, yeah.
and that's how you eat it. Well, they gave me one, and the bone was broken, so it was like flopping to the side.
No.
So I'm trying to like eat it, and I don't like messy food anyway. So I'm like, I took a few bites, and I thought it was okay. Whoever I was with, I don't even remember who I was with at the time. I said, "Here, do you want any of this?" They took a couple bites, and then we ended up like ditching most of it
no.
because like it was so hard to eat. It was
Yeah.
like shattered bone thing. I don't know. I should have asked the cast member to swap it for another one. I'm sure they would have done that for me, but I just I got it in Frontierland by the Mark Twain, and I was so excited because like everybody was talking about these, and I'm not like a huge turkey fan anyway. When I had it, I thought like it was pretty good. Did Vern like it?
He liked it. I'm not a big turkey person either, but man, like walking
was
past other
moist.
people and sitting across from Vern when
They
he was
smell
eating
amazing.
they smelled so good. So I did have a piece of it. It was good.
To me, it's like coffee. Like I can't drink coffee, but I love the smell of coffee.
And then Friday evening to wrap up our trip there. That Friday evening is when we did the Fantasmic dining package over at the Blue Bayou. This was a little bit steeper, so this was definitely our splurge for the week. It was $69 a person for this dining package. However,
I
you
think it's
do
worth
get
it.
a starter, an entree, plus a dessert. And then, obviously you get the seat cushion and then the, phenomenal viewing area for Fantasmic.
So you think it was worth it?
I think it was worth
Okay.
it. Yeah, this might become something that we do more
Each
frequently.
visit?
Maybe not each visit, but definitely more frequently. I just really enjoyed the Blue Bayou in general. So to me,
Even with Pirates closed.
the bonus of getting the awesome viewing for Fantasmic, which is my favorite show. It's kind of like a match made in heaven, really. My favorite place to dine plus my favorite show. Front seats. So, I mean, really, it's like the perfect Teresa thing. But anyway, so I had the house salad, the surf and turf, which was a filet mignon and lobster tail,
Oh,
and then the amazing Sorcerer Mickey dessert. So this thing, I don't even really know what it was. It was all sorts of amazing desserts kind of wrapped into one. The main ingredient, though, there was a mousse that was wrapped around like a bananas Foster thing. It was so good. That is
Wow.
the slowest I've ever taken eating a dessert because I did not want it to end. I've kind of felt a little bad for the server because I was probably being that ridiculous about the tiniest bites that I could possibly take so I could keep eating it. It was
you have the opposite thing
amazing.
that I do. If I like something, I just like scarf it down, and
Oh,
I'm like,
no,
oh, I want more.
No, I like sit there and savor it for sure. Vern had the gumbo, which the gumbo was awesome.
James had the gumbo and also said the gumbo was great.
He had the herb crusted rack of lamb, which he said was also
The
amazing.
picture he had of that made it look great.
So I tried the gumbo, super good. Tried the lamb, also very good. I'm a much bigger steak person,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't have traded with him.
Right.
And then he had the vanilla creme brulee, which, if you're a creme brulee person, that was also very heavenly. It was one of those things between our two desserts. He and I both had a hard time deciding who had the better one. They were just both fantastic.
I
So,
feel
yeah.
like the Sorcerer Mickey dessert, just from how it looks, I would have liked it
You
more.
know, this is really probably a little embarrassing and ridiculous, but as soon as it came out, it took me like 5 to 10 minutes before I had enough courage to stab it with my fork because it was just so pretty. I didn't want to ruin and wreck
The
it.
server did hate you if it took you that long to get into it, and then you took little tiny bites.
Yeah.
You're like, Fantasmic
This
is over, Teresa. You gotta go.
Yeah, it was fun, but it was a really unique dining experience though because that was the first time that I've eaten at the Blue Bayou while Pirates was closed, and so it was interesting. I mean, obviously you didn't have the little boats floating by every once in a while full of people about to go on the attraction, but I noticed that there was a couple of the effects were not on. So the I don't even know. Maybe he's got a nickname. We'll have to look that up. The gentleman that's on his
banjo guy?
porch, that's playing the banjo on his rocking chair. He was really kind of creepy. They didn't have any sort of lighting on him at all. But he was still rocking his chair. He's still doing his thing. They also did not have any of the firefly lights on, which kind of threw me.
That's a bummer
For a
because those are
loop,
really
too.
cool.
So I was a little bummed because when we went, they did not have any seating that would have put us right next to the water, which is where I really like to sit and eat there because then you just really get to take it all in. But since all the effects weren't on and really the banjo guy was super creeping me out even from where I was sitting, I don't think I would have wanted to be closer to him. So yeah.
All right. Well, because we're live streaming this episode, we asked our people in the Patreon, in the chat for some questions for this episode. So we didn't do any research. I'm literally just going to ask what was asked in here. So here's the question. So Doug said, if you could bring one attraction from any of the international Disney parks, which would it be and why? This one's tough, Doug.
This is a really tough one.
So the Tim Tracker, which I know you also watch because we've talked about it in the chat before, just came back. Him and Jen just went to Tokyo Disneyland, which I described to James, and I think this is totally true. So for those of you that don't know this, the Tokyo Disney Resort is not owned by Disney. It's actually all of the intellectual property for Disney is licensed by the Oriental Land Company. And so the Oriental Land Company wants to make a bunch of money. So anytime they come up with a new attraction or that they want to build a new attraction or a new park, I literally just describe it that they just like throw money at it. So they're like, hey, we want an Indiana Jones adventure like in the States. But we're not going to have a budgetary problem. Here's all the money you need, make it happen. So they have an amazing version of the Indiana Jones adventure, which is my first go-to because they have some special effects and stuff that we don't have at our Disneyland version. So that would be my first instinct. But I'm trying to think of another attraction. I guess I would say I don't remember which park it's in. I think it's in the Tokyo park. No.
Okay, well, while you're thinking...
Mystic Manor is what it's called. I don't know what park it's in, but
Manor.
it's a trackless ride system. It's like a Haunted Mansion-like attraction. Whatever park it was at, are you looking it up for me?
Yep.
Okay, so Mystic Manor it takes the place of the Haunted Mansion for wherever it's at. Where is it? I know it's not Paris. Is it Tokyo?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Excuse me. So Hong Kong, that's probably the attraction I'd like to see come over here. What do you think?
All right, so I agree with Mystic Manor. I think that would be cool. I kind of forgot about that one until you just brought it up. But when Doug first asked this question, my gut instinct was the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Tokyo Disney
Oh,
Sea.
yeah.
I just love how you feel like you're in the middle of battle with that one. That one just looks so, so cool.
But I guess the reason that I'm kind of it's hard though because if you were to replace
but I don't want to replace
you just
our
want to add
pirates.
a Pirates.
I would just like that one in addition. Or if they just would extend it out, so then I just ride both rides, both of the attractions at once.
Okay. So
you
then
go through the classic and then you go through the
new thing.
The new thing.
All right. So then Laura asked, what attraction would you like to see be turned into a movie? And we kind of talked about this. The attraction that I would like to see turned into a movie already was a movie.
Yeah, me too.
And they just need to remake it. It was the Haunted Mansion. They need to make a version that isn't terrible.
I'm going to okay. So since we've already talked about the Haunted Mansion, and since you and I both agree that we need good Haunted Mansion, let's go with something else. What would you think?
Tower of Terror.
I think that was kind of already a TV. Well, I guess whatever. But so I'm going with like Disney original ideas.
Sure.
So I think that Big Thunder Railroad, since we talked about a few episodes back, the actual backstory of why the train's there. So remember, it's this abandoned ghost town that's like the trains are now haunted or whatever.
Okay.
And I think that would make a really cool, really interesting plot line for a movie.
Yeah.
What about the Matterhorn? You could do a movie based on the Matterhorn.
Well, the Matterhorn already had a movie. The Matterhorn's based on a movie.
Oh, okay.
Kind of the same thing with the Jungle Cruise. Like maybe the Jungle Cruise would be fun because I think they are coming out with the Jungle Cruise. There was a rumor.
I was gonna say that sounds very familiar, but it may have.
If they take the humor from, Jumanji, if they did like a Jumanji kind of that level of humor and stuff, but Jungle Cruise, I'd be all about it.
There you go.
All right. Next question, also from Laura. If you had full access to the park for one night, what would be the first? What would be the first place you'd explore? I would explore. Oh god, that's a hard one too. Pirates. I want to walk around all the crazy maze that is the backstage area of Pirates.
If there's, okay, I'm sorry, I was looking up Jungle.
If you had
Cruise
full
things.
access to the park for one night, what would be the first place you would explore? Pirates. I think back.
Pirates would be there.
Sure.
I would also really, really, really want to go to Space Mountain and flip the lights on.
Oh yes, that would be a good one too.
Just because I'm so curious as to what that like looks like in real life.
Sure. And then she's got another one here that says, "What's the dumbest way you've been injured?" Oh God, that's a hard one. So, I won't get into a whole story, but basically, my friend Beth and I were stupid, and we were driving a car improperly, and we crashed in the middle of the Nevada desert, and her arm got really screwed up, and she has scars to this day on it. And I probably should have died, knowing how the car looked. So that's probably the dumbest way I've been injured, because it was just us being stupid. If you mean dumbest by like the silliest, stupidest thing, it's got to be stupid stuff like, stubbing your toe on the ottoman upstairs or something like that. What do you think? Do you have something?
I really don't have anything because I'm lame and I've never even broken a bone. I'm almost 30 years old and I've never broken a bone. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I've never
All the
broken
wood.
a bone
Knock on
either.
all of the
So
wood. Look, that's one thing we have in common.
let's not have that happen.
All right. So as we wrap up, we want to thank all of you for listening each and every week. If you like what you're hearing and want to support this podcast, you can help us out by becoming a patron. Our patrons, like we've already mentioned, get some pretty awesome perks, including access to a chat with us, plus fellow Disneyland Park fans, and some Disneyland Weekly swag. Find out more at disneylandweekly.com/support. And again, shout out, thank you to Nathan, and congratulations to Priscilla, who we pulled out of the hat today, who will be our first patron and guest for a discussion topic this month, if she chooses. No pressure. Honestly, Priscilla, no pressure. I don't want you to think that we're like calling you out and you're going to have to do it, but we're really excited to have our first person on.
That's true. And if you want to support the show and watch us stream it live, like some people have been doing tonight as we've been going, and see how the sausage is made. It was pretty boring the first hour because we were writing the script and whatnot, but we chatted about stuff, and it's sometimes can be interesting too. You can also do that and become a patron at the cast member level or above and get in on that. So if you are in the midst of saving for your next Disneyland trip and can't support the show with money, then help us out by sharing Disneyland Weekly on social media or by word of mouth with other Disneyland fans that you know. If you're going to the park soon and want to be wearing some Disneyland Weekly swag, head on over to disneylandweekly.com/store to pick some up. Also, I would like to say before I forget, what was the gentleman's name who was sharing us on social media? That was in the chat. Was it Bob? I think it was Bob.
I don't. Geez, put me on the spot here.
Well, I thought you would know because you were.
I remember, but I don't remember.
I think it was Bob, wasn't it?
It was some. I thought Ray. Maybe that's his last name. Bob Hay. We were both kind
There you
of
go.
right.
So thank you, Bob, for pushing some people our way. We did just find out that another Disneyland podcast has come to an end, and they're going to a video thing, and that may be good for some people and not good for others. So
Wait a minute.
what?
Bob Hay was the guy that commented saying that he just got. Oh, where is it? Bob Hay's the guy that commented saying he just got hired on as a cast member. I don't see the notification for the guy that was tagging us.
Dang it! It's in the email. Hold on. What does it say? All right, let's see here.
Are you in the email?
Bob Hay. Oh no, became a cast member.
Is it under red?
See who mentioned your page. Bob Hay. Same thing. Bob Hay. I thought so.
Oh.
So thank you, Bob, for sharing it. Like I said, there's another Disneyland podcast that ended, and they're doing a new video thing, so it may not be for you. So if you came over from that podcast to ours, welcome. We're glad to have you. And for those of you who will be joining in the future, we're welcome, and we're glad to have you as well.
All right, so we love seeing reviews on iTunes, plus it helps keeps our ranking better so more people can find us and join the community. If you want to join in the conversation, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/DisneylandWeekly, on Twitter at DLWeekly, or by sending us an email at feedback@disneylandweekly.com. Please feel free to email, Facebook, or tweet at us any questions, feedback, or suggestions that you may have about the show.
Hold on. I hit the wrong thing.
We will be back next week.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
So until then, go out and enjoy the parks. And thank you to everyone that joined us for the live stream. And
we
very
still got some
patient
conversation.
with what do you mean we still have conversation?
Well, you and I will probably talk for a few minutes before you leave.
I'm
so
still
we're not going to kill
saying
the.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying.
Thank you for sticking with us through all of this.
They love us. That's why they do it. Trust me, they wouldn't do it if they didn't love us.
Blind trust. It's blind trust. Priscilla's typing. Oh, she's excited.
Is this different? Oh, is she?
Yep.
Well, I think people should be happy because we didn't do any real feedback or anything on that episode.
You're nice. I was gonna let her listen to it and hear it on the podcast.
Oh,
and
I
be
went
like,
and added
"Oh."
her. Yeah. Sorry.
Hmm?
I just said sorry. All right, so I am going to stop the recording for the show, but I'm going to leave the stream going so those of you that are watching the stream can enjoy that. I'm going to save. I'm going to export. So we need to move some... we need to move comments and stuff over because we didn't do that before the show. Uh-oh. Hello? Oh, good. It's still going out to the stream because I went to export out of Logic and it's not letting me hear what people are saying. Oh, yeah. Later this month, not tonight for sure. I love how you're like, don't panic her.
And we can discuss it. Oh, just you wait.
So much to talk about.
I said, and if you want to keep it a surprise, we can discuss it privately too.
Yeah. So hold on a second here. Can I start a conversation with multiple people?
I think so.
Okay, hold on. No, that's not what I wanted.
Maybe not. I don't know. Sweet. I'm glad Priscilla is agreeing to it. That was kind of a little bit of a worry for me. I was like, what if we pick somebody and they're mortified? Like, oh, no.
What if I want... I'm confused how this works. Purely Priscilla. If I want to add friends to the DM. I have to be friends with her to do it.
You can't do it on Discord?
No. I have to be friends with her. That's fine. I'll just become friends with her. Which means I have to probably become friends with you too. I'm just gonna become friends with everybody.
Huh? What are you talking about?
You should get a notification
Oh.
to become friends.
We're not friends on Discord?
Well, we're like in the same chat, but we're not
Oh,
we're
okay.
not friends
Interesting.
or something. So can I monitor? Okay, so OBS preferences. There should be an option for output. Cancel. Tag audio. Properties. Cancel. Settings. Audio.
I just sent an email to Nicole because she has a connection. Someone that was a previous cast member that was interested in being with Why is it not telling me? Oh, pending. Somebody that she's friends with that was a previous cast member.
Ah.
And they were going to send us an email because she first messaged me this back beginning of last month. So it was before we kind of like tested out how to do the call-in thing. So I told her that we were going to play around with it for a little bit so it wouldn't be right away. So I figured I'd just reach out to her and see if
that was an
she
email?
knows. No, we were talking about it in Discord.
Oh.
And she's actually typing, so apparently she's online right now.
Who?
Nicole.
Oh. Because I'm sorry. I missed the first part of what you said about that. So, Nick, what about Nicole? She wanted to be on to talk about something?
No, she has a connection. She has a friend that is a former cast member. She was going to see. She's like, do you guys...
Did you get a friend request from me, by the way? Okay. Ah, here we go. No friends that are found that are not already in this. Really? Weird. All right. Let me pull up this. And so we have one person still watching. So who's still watching? Teresa, are you watching? Or Teresa. Laura, are you watching? Or is it... Where does this fit into the timeline? Nicole. Are you already messaging with Nicole?
Yeah.
Why is she messaging me?
I don't know. Maybe she wants to talk to you about something else.
Live show chat. Oh, that was last time, so we can remove that link.
Nicole messaged you? Live show chat. My toes are frozen.
Turn the heater on.
No, it's fine.
Toes are frozen.
It's 9:40. I'll be going
Hopefully soon, right?
home soon.
All right. So I guess for now,
So
since
how do we want to do this? Do we want to just keep this thing
Sure.
and then just add names?
yeah. So keep her out for now.
Right.
Yeah. Can we can we go into the rolling
Words.
feedback and add feedback that we've gotten?
Yeah, where am I adding from?
We have email feedback, don't we? That you can add
Yeah.
in.
Okay.
And then I just had iTunes up, which I'm trying to figure out. I guess I gotta look at the dates.
iTunes.
Well, I gotta look. Did you look at it today?
Yeah. Did you? Oh, what you can talk about later. I love that.
What?
Teresa, aka Teresa, because I'm so original.
AKA Teresa.
Yeah, because it asked what your nickname was.
Oh.
So it's at Teresa, aka Teresa. And oh, by the way, didn't want to put this on the podcast, but they are coming out with a Jungle Cruise movie.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is going to be starring in it or whatever.
That's awesome.
Paul Giamatti too. Ooh, I love Paul Giamatti.
Do you have a picture of him?
Who? Paul Giamatti?
Yeah.
You know him.
I'm pretty sure I do know him, but like off the top of my head, I'm trying to
Have
think.
you seen The Illusionist?
I think so, but I don't remember.
He's the like police officer.
Oh yeah, exactly who I thought it was. Yeah, I like him.
He's in a lot.
So is it gonna be a serious movie?
Oh, he was in the Amazing Spider-Man.
So is it gonna be a serious movie?
No, Paul Giamatti does funny things too.
Oh, Nicole's asking about. Okay. Nicole is asking about Solo.
Oh. So I did Disneyland. How do I get to the email again?
DisneylandWeekly.com/webmail.
Webmail. I tried feedback and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So did we send Jason and Gwen a message?
No.
Oh,
Like on
'cause-
Patreon?
Yeah, because I said,
No.
thanks, guys. So excited for mail.
Oh, yes. I sent them all messages, the people that we sent the stuff
saying
out
that
to this
we
week.
sent it. Okay. What is going on here? Merge. And text wrap.
Okay. Yeah, Nicole was asking about something from Solo
Oh, yeah.
because she had asked. Yeah, it just took her a
Vernon-
while.
Vern and I were going to watch that. We haven't watched it yet.
It's good. You should definitely go see it in the theater because I think that it needs support. So you're putting the email in. We didn't have any stuff
Why
from there.
is it not? It's not letting me do the email. What the fuck? Text wrapping wrap. Why?
Hold-
Revert. I like merged everything. I wrapped everything and then put it in, and then it reverted.
Hold on. Where are you? Down in email? Oh, hold on.
Do you see how that did that?
Yeah.
'Cause
So here, hold on.
first it did this, where it's like
Whoop. That's just me.
that. First it was that.
Yep. Okay. Undo that. Okay. Click up on top where it says like
Merge.
FX. Nope.
FX.
Right above the A, B,
Oh,
C, D.
paste it
Click
there?
up there and paste it up there.
Why can I sometimes paste it in there?
Because formatting. Did you paste it?
Yeah, but it's still weird. Like,
Yeah. So you have to go and like go to the beginning of each line and just backspace it because it puts in a carriage return for each one for what I can do it for you if you don't want to.
Well, no, I was doing it. There, done. You can copy paste it right
Oh,
in the thing.
there you go.
I'm like, I swear I've done this
I
without.
just got a notification or something, or you got a notification. Somebody got a notification.
Oh, I did from Nicole.
All right. Okay. So let me go back to this and unmaximize it. There we go. All right, so we have 0 watching, so I'm going to end the stream.